It's been a while. 3-4 days, maybe 5 days. I don't know. We missed our concert. That was last night. We're still here trying to get the money back from ticket insurance. Yeah, whole big saga. Stuff happened, and we just had to stop and regroup. And so I took a break from filming for a little bit. So, you know, sometimes you just have to pick yourself up when you don't meet your goals, right?
We're living life on the road in a vintage bus.
Hi, I'm Victor.
And I'm Andrea. Our journey began in illness, searching for places we could heal.
We don't know where we're going, but we're finding moments of joy along the way. We don't really have a deadline now, so we can be a little flexible, but we still need to get out of here ASAP because our health is just getting worse and worse. So I'm going to now cut a hole in this tank. Hopefully I don't mess it up because I have to weld in, plastic weld, the outlet. This is going to become the gray black water tank, and this 1.5-inch outlet is not big enough that came with it, so need a 3-inch, which I have one here. These are usually meant to be with a hole and then a router, and it spins at very high RPM and melts the two pieces of plastic together. I'm going to use the plastic welding tool that I have, so we'll see how it goes. Yeah, hopefully it's not too exciting. Come on. Wow. I guess I need to get that out before I put this on.
At this point in our story, our goal was to leave within a few weeks, even though we'd missed our October concert. To make up for that loss, we bought tickets to see Tool in Phoenix in February. Somehow that seemed like enough time to get the bus ready and drive across the country. The list of things we still needed to do was pretty long. The hot water heater, installing water lines, installing the drains for the sink, shower, and toilet, finishing the freshwater tank and pump, and setting up the gray and black water tank, finishing our kids' room, building in a table and seating area, and cleaning the whole thing so that we could live in it comfortably. In addition to all this bus work, Victor was still doing jobs occasionally. He had basically shut down his business as an independent contractor, but we still needed money. I was working on building my Etsy store and publishing illustrated children's books, but that was slow going. Illustration and writing were things I could do during my late nights, so I put most of my energy into caregiving, illustrating in Procreate on my iPad, and cooking all our meals from scratch to accommodate food sensitivities.
made a little progress. Got a little update here with this framed in. Sort of a rough frame, but I'm going to put this guy in here. And I'll put some kind of trim over the top, cover it up, and then when the sink goes in, keep the splashes from going out down behind the window. So that I'm going to put on now, and I think tricky. Always tricky. But it's kind of cool. Follows the curve of the ceiling, sorta. I'll paint the outside black someday. Obviously not a priority now before we're getting out of here. Alright. Well, needs to connect to this, which is all in Chinese. So luckily I was able to find a translation, and I think I figured out which wire goes where.
Meanwhile, our teenager's health was not improving. As I've mentioned in previous videos, our kiddo had been suffering with CIRS, or chronic inflammatory response syndrome,
Works.
and subsequent PANDAS, which is an autoimmune neuropsychiatric illness caused by a biotoxin, often strep, but also mold or Lyme or pneumonia, and now even COVID. Without making any drastic changes, their health remained shaky, and every day was very fraught with challenges. Missing the concert was a huge blow. We felt like we hadn't been able to make the dream come true, so it was a depressing situation for all of us. On the other hand, we'd blown up our lives to travel in this bus, and we had to keep going until it was livable.
Alright, second coat, waterproofing is done in the shower. It's a little dark in here, but letting that dry. They say that the rubber coating should end up being about a credit card thickness, about 20 mils. I think I'm going to do a third coat after this dries, just because why not? More is better. I already paid the $73 for the gallon. Yeah, $73 plus tax, of course, depending on where you are. MAPI, I don't know how you say it, Aqua Defense. So what I am using, it's a liquid rubber membrane. A lot of VOCs, gotta say, if you're sensitive, get ventilation going on, because it's pretty strong smelling. But between the Go board backing, which is waterproof, and this layer on top of that, it's it's a shower in a bus, just flexing and moving, right? So the more waterproofing, the better. That's what I think. I don't know. Try and prioritize stuff, but also we just have to get it done and get out of here. Hello, everybody. Another day. More work on the bus. More dollars spent. Another day, another dollar spent. Oh, how's it going? Anyway, in the shower here, behind me here, you can see I got, if I move around, first row tiles in. I'm getting ready to put that small piece over here in the corner in, and this one. Then I have to cut the next piece here after that. So I thought I should film that. And yeah. So these are. Let's see if I can get. It's going to be too dark here to see this. So we go in here. These are Palisade brand, waterproof, grout free. They are big, 14, almost 15 inches by almost 26 inches. And yeah, so I've used them before, and they are good option for vehicles. Silicone goes in to seal the corner. In this case, because I'm not using the corner trim, so fill that all in there. Then my other caulking gun, I've got the correct glue, and just gets nice bead around the edges. Now, I'm sure I've got it the right side up, and I want to check if this one sits correctly, which I turned a little short, so I've got a shim here to go. So that one will fit. Okay. So it's good. A tight seam here at the top corner. So now I will do the next one. This one, it's silicone in the groove here. Okay. So now, right side up. The shim in there first. Hello everybody, what's going on? Time for some more work, making some progress here. A little bit slower than I had hoped, but other stuff has had to be prioritized in this process. It's such a massive undertaking, man. I was so naive to think we could do this and buy a bus and get out on the road within 3 months. Now we're a year into it. Yeah. Anyway, yesterday I didn't have a chance to film, but I did more work on tile in the bathroom, shower, I mean. So I got a few more pieces up. And then I've got these pieces of metal that I had. And I use simple tools to bend. I don't have a metal brake, and it's very very thin flashing aluminum flashing. It was a roll of 20 inches wide by 10 feet, so we had 2 strips out of it. This one goes up in there. This edge right here will go up here against this edge across there, and we'll overlap to around here. If I put the top one on first and then put the bottom one on, it could be sealed, but there would be a chance water would leak in between the 2 pieces of tin here in the ceiling. So put the downhill side one, which is this one with the hole in it, and these cuts are to make the bend. Yeah, so that's gonna go in. I gotta figure out threading this wire through it and behind, and then up here through the metal or under the metal, I'm not sure, and then up in this channel I cut in the foam, keep that in there. That's the power for this, and that's the one that, and then I just need to get the adhesive, construction adhesive in on the wood and some of the foam, and then get the thing in there, and hopefully it'll hold without me having to stand here holding it. So I'm gonna be working on gluing this stuff in. I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to show, but I'll try. This is really tiny. So that is project for now. And let's see if I can get this set up. Hello everybody. This is a crazy fall day. I almost need shorts on, like I'm too hot. It's in the low 70s, and I'm going to open up the new plastic welder and see, fingers crossed, it works. Let's get this thing out here and see. This is another used one, so I don't know. I would assume that they test them, but you know what they say about assuming. I don't know. That doesn't look like a good sign. But if it produces enough heat, hello everybody. It's getting cold. Down in the 30s last night, and it's pretty. Just lost a lot of leaves, but just past the peak. Anyway, I'm gonna keep working on the shower. I've got to cut some tiles, finish installing them. And then I can keep rolling on some mechanical work and the water system, drains, sink drains, toilet, all that stuff, black tank, fresh water. Got a lot to do. I'm gonna get cracking. See if it fits. cold this morning. It's gloves time, but I don't have gloves. Not good ones that are insulating work gloves. So, yeah, fun. Hello everybody! It's kind of cold, as you can see. I'm bundled up. Working on water tanks, getting some stuff done, trying to figure it out. Yeah, we make progress, we can get driving. So, gotta work in the cold, splitting my time between this and the some motor stuff that needs to happen, so making some progress little by little, but man, it's cold working out here. I think that it's like 40, low 40s, 41, 42 degrees, something like that. So you can hear the diesel heaters running down there. It's the sound of the exhaust. We only have one going right now. I have to install the other one, figure out where it's going to go. Once we get the, once I get the water system here figured out a little bit, I think I can start on that one. So I'm going to get cracking here. Let's see what we can get done. Better. What's up, everybody? Oh, haven't filmed in a day and a half. I've been working on stuff, but it just takes so much time to film. So I've got water line filled here. This is from the fill on the outside. That's in. I got the vent connected over here, and the toilet's connected. Now I have one more drain to go from over here over to there, but next I'm doing the water board and get some connections in here, see if we can get some packs going. Got the tanks secured into the bus for now. I don't know, I might change it all later. Yeah. I'll show you what's going on up on the roof. I think I may have showed this before, but I've got this collapsible ladder, which is pretty cool. It's really high steps though. This distance between the rungs is not a standard ladder distance, and it's throwing me off a little bit. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. I needed to move the ladder. So there's half. I started at the back, and there's the front. So we'll leave that right there. I'll be right back. Hello everybody, back to the plumbing. Another day. I almost got these drains done. So I've got this piece connected, one chunk. This piece connected, another chunk, and then this is a little flexible here into the pipe clamp. So now the idea is to get these two guys connected. Let me do a dry fit here again and just mark some angles. I think that will work. Okay, so this is what I've got going on here with the drain lines. We've got coming in from the sink in the next bay over. The kitchen sink comes in, comes down, and drains into the tank. To get the shower over here, comes down. I can take off here, and I think one of my plans is to create a recirculating shower. Anyway, showers down to the trap and over here. Right now, this diverter valve, which is, I got on Amazon, it's I think it's a pool. It was made for pool systems or hot tubs or something like that. Right now, the valve is open this way. I turn it like that. Now the valve is closed here. So all of these two shower and sink drains will go in here and go to this drain, where I can hook a hose onto that. It's got a hose bib on the bottom here. You see that there. Then I can have that gray water draining on the ground if it's legal where we are, and save space in the gray-black tank potentially. That way we can either have a larger freshwater tank or an additional one, or refill this one with a bladder that we can bring with our, tow vehicle, fill up somewhere and come back without having to move the Jeep. So I'm thinking ahead long term. So that's why this valve is in here. I've got some flex. It's built into the system. Oh yeah, I have to tighten this. I have to tighten all of these. Okay, just a little update here. I am too cold to keep going, but I got some work done here. So there's the outlet of the first tank comes out. I got a shut off valve here, check valve. Water can only go this way, I can't come back. Around here, up into sediment filter. Over here, up into the pump. Through the pump, another shut off, so I can take the pump out, turn this one and this one off, and the pump is isolated. The strainer is also isolated. Anyway, so yeah, from the pump, and these are, I gotta put some blocks. I gotta trim this one to fit, so that'll be screwed down. These guys have to be screwed down. So yeah, from the tank through strainer into the pump and into the accumulator. That's the pressure. Then I have a shut off here to isolate the filter, which is dual carbon and something else. I forget what it is. This is the city water in. So if we are connected to somewhere with a hose, that comes in after this is pressurized and can't go back into the tank because this is a one-way. So if we know we're going to be on city water, then I can do this and turn the pump off. Then, so both of these go in to the whole house filter, and I did that because I wanted the city water to be filtered going in. I'll probably have an external filter as well, but this way we have consistent levels of whatever is in the water, chlorine and other stuff like that. So that comes in, goes out. I've teed off here to go down behind here to a faucet so I can hook a hose up if we need to rinse out the black tank here or whatever. And then there's a shut off back here. So if I turn that one, this one, and if this one doesn't matter if we're not connected to city water, but if we are, turn that. Now, this is isolated, so I can change out the filter cartridge. So, without going and doing anything else. So, it continues on. I have a T right here, and that will go up to the bathroom sink hold, and then it continues on up back there for going off. I need to tee off to the, still have to run lines all the way down. Let me move the light, hang on, I can't see anything. So my plan is to take a cold water line up as close as possible to the top of the bays, through the electrical, and then the first side over there, this closest end of the first luggage bay is where the hot water heater is. So it will go across this one, drop down, go into the hot water heater, and then the hot water will come back the same route, and I can tee off both of those in here, which will go over to the kitchen sink, and then that will come back, and I have to bring it all the way over. The hot water has to come all the way over here, tees off over there for the shower on the other side, and then the only thing left to do before testing it all for leaks is this sink drain. Oh yeah, and it has to come off over here for the toilet. I have to drill that hole and take a line over and up in there. So probably somewhere in here. It's about 38 degrees, and I'm getting hungry, so I'm gonna go in and wrap this one up for now, close the doors. Oh yeah, one more thing. I had to move diesel heater. I had the diesel heater right here. I had hooked it up yesterday. I didn't finish hooking up fuel I just had it hooked up in the exhaust, so I had to, there's a hole there for the old exhaust where it was. That was already there, so I had to drill another hole, and I put it up a little higher. That is going to go in here and go through that hole right there, and then that'll tee off into the toilet and the back room. So yeah, that's what I did. And parts exchanges and other stuff. So anyway, I'm gonna go in and get warm. I can almost have my teeth chattering. Yeah, well, until next time.